Hello and welcome to Iron Port. Iron Port is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, the Ghana Revenue Authority, Goyle Company Limited, Serene Insurance and Ghana Link. Our media partner is the Business and Financial Times. Folks, today our topic for discussion is adopting international standards for efficient and sustainable port services. You know, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has been mandated to build, operate, develop and manage the ports of Ghana. In achieving this, the Ports Authority has instituted various measures, including the attainment of ISO certification. Today we'll find out what ISO is all about and how you as a port user benefit from this ISO. This is what our representatives from the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority had to say.
So let me begin with you, Mr. Murphy, and find out why, what is ISO first of all, and why did GPHA decide to, pursue such high standards?
We look at international standards, and then you would see that these standards are measures that people try to ascribe to. Why? Because it leads us to become more perfect, more proficient, and we also look at our performances in the system. So we have various standards that we ascribe to or certify to under this body. This body comprises about 165 organizations and various countries, and this has a number of standards like quality standards. We talk about occupational health and safety. We're talking about environmental standards. There are other standards like information security, and there are other standards which also deals with security operations as well. We have diverse of them, and then we go systematically to certify ourselves in that. These standards, we go at them voluntarily. It is not mandatory, and it tells about what you are doing and the way you do it per international standards.
As Mr. Mavi indicated, ISO has various standards in place, but GPHA went in for quality management system, which focuses on customer satisfaction. That is ISO 9000. And then we also added the 14,000, which talks about environmental management system and then its sustainability. We also went in for the 45,000, which is about occupational health and safety of our staff and then our clients as well. Now, initially we didn't start with all this. We started with the 2008 version of ISO 9001. Right. And I think GPHA decided to go in for this because about 90% of our clients are based out there. When I say out there, I mean in the developed world, and they've tested what the benefits of these standards come with. They intend to have that same feel when they come to deal with Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. We also realized that we needed to be compliant to both local and international standards or regulations and laws, especially when it comes to occupational health and safety and the environmental sustainability. We also needed to operate efficiently, especially when it comes to cost saving. We realized that what the Japanese term as muda, when you have a value chain and then you streamline your operation, you realize there were so many waste of waiting, waste of repetition. So we needed to also align ourselves to something that would do away with all these waste and therefore reduce our cost of production and then ultimately for us to become efficient. And then we thought that we needed to also remain competitive.
Right.
especially looking at the fact that most of the ports within the West African sub-region were also pursuing same. If I think some had already gotten to the point of even being certified, so we needed to also wake up and then also be active in the market when it comes to subjecting our system to such scrutiny.
All right, so let me still stay with you and
All right.
find out what processes went into GPHA being certified by the ISO.
We subjected ourselves to our certification by the SGS. We had our first stage audit, our second stage audit. And then the good news was that on the 31st December 2013, GPHA was certified to ISO 9001-2008. But then GPHA had to test the system. Yeah. So it only took 8 departments in Tema port for the implementation.
So let me come to you. Having, ascribed to or subscribed to ISO certification, it means that port operations would have to be, done in such a way that it's aligned to meet the requirements. How are you able to do this?
Yeah, with ISO, which deals more with standardization, it means we will now have to be working with certified equipment that are actually inspected. We also have to deal with skilled and certified operators. Now, this also means that we will have to start looking at our processes, the processes that we'll go through, and then develop work instructions to guide operatives, which to say SOPs, where our interested parties would also be looking at.
When you say SOPs, what does that mean?
Standard operating procedures.
Okay.
Now, with these things, it means that it makes it easier. An introduction of any new person into the system knows that we deal with standards, he knows what processes that we would have to go to. The other aspect is that we needed to look at the way we pre-plan our operations, systematic pre-planning, and then effective and efficient allocation of resources. Now, when you allocate resources efficiently, it makes you bring down cost, and then when you have these certified operators, you see that accidents and downtime of the equipment are minimized. We also have to deal with the issue of well-efficient plant maintenance system. Now, even with our customers, we will have to look at them in pre-planning, and then we do appraisal of operations that have been carried out with our customers as well. Whilst we're carrying out our operations, in order to look at performance, to see that we are not going off target, we try to set targets and make sure we monitor hourly, we look at daily, and look at weekly, monthly, and yearly. That is to say that we want to still be on track. Our customers are served with smiles. Our customers are served with exactly what they require. Now, at this moment, we need to let them know that we are always there for them and the targets are being met. This makes the port becomes less expensive.
Still stay with you, Mr. Amavi, and find out how this one is helping in corporate reputation. I mean, we are implementing ISO standards at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Does it help in any way in terms of our reputation as a corporate institution?
Yes, it does. And so many organizations can attest to that, because most of them have started coming to us to try and replicate what we are doing. They also try and look at situations where they could sustain whatever they have started. Now, with this situation, you realize that corporate Ghana gains a lot, because the way we do standard items follow procedures, follow standards, it will attract investors into the system. And attracting investors means that you are opening up the economy. Right. And when the economy is opening up, there's much more growth in the economy. Now, people become very fussy. they become more confident that they would have to use our services because they know we do things based on international standards.
Okay. So I'll come to you, Madam Frances, and find out whether GPHA has conducted an impact analysis on our ISO compliance.
Right. Thank you for the question. Yes, we have. It's about 60% completed. We want to provide an in-depth impact analysis of the ISO system from the time of its inception till date. However, in the meantime, we have other systems we use in testing the impact of ISO to GPHA.
Right.
One of such is our internal audit, which is performed once every year.
Right.
Another is also the external audit, which is mostly slated for November every year, and is conducted by our certification body, SGS Ghana. And then we also have our monthly walkthroughs. This is conducted by the various FQMs, the functional quality managers. These are representatives of the ISO system at the departmental level. Findings of all these forms of inspection is documented in an in-house document called the Master Corrective Action Request. Now, it's like a dashboard where we have all the findings and then projects that come along with the findings. We have a responsibility, a responsible person or a department. We have the beginning, the ending of that, and then resources, remarks, and then that will take into consideration the challenges that would come up during the implementation or resolution of such gaps.
So let me come to you, Mr. Mavi, and find out how the implementation of ISO standards in the ports would benefit the ordinary importer or exporter or port users, so to speak.
Okay. In the first place, it gives the opportunity for the importer or our clients, the exporter, to actually ask for what services he wants. Because we avail ourselves for criticisms as far as our job is concerned. Now, hitherto, GPHA could easily run away from the fact that there's an issue and then they will probably swindle the customer. Now we are bold enough to tell the customer, yes, we are at fault, and then we shoulder it. Now, the customer also has the opportunity to appraise us as and when we work. Now, the customer also makes sure by the fact that we have automated our systems, that customer can even sit in his comfort of his home office and try to transact business with us. You know, initially everything was done manually. Now, we have made our staff such that they become a bit more friendly because they know they are measured by the customer.
Yeah.
Now, even the ISO audit would even look out for the way customers are being handled. So the issue also with the fact that when we are servicing them, they have that reliability that we can give them quality service. They have that reliability that we can always handle their cargo, handle their goods professionally without damaging them anyhow. Because if they know if we damage them, we'll have to pay for certain claims and other things. They have become much more confident now. They are able to tell us and bring in new ideas as to how we will do our work. And we accept that for a fact, so that we can be more innovative in our industry. Last year, we had a very difficult task. When the external auditors were around, they detected one or two things that nearly caused us a problem. By the end of the day, this year, by virtue of the fact that we had to push some of the engineers, some of the terminals, they have actually cleared that. We had a situation at a river terminal where we saw drums of oil leaking, and anytime they dispense fuel to the generator, you could see that the spillage. And in ISO, it goes against us because where the dusting ends, it destroys the environment. Because it destroys the environment, we need to keep the place well. That's why we need to have ban walls by some of our equipment, like generators and other things. This year, I must say that before the external auditors will come, we have actually even paved the place.
Right.
We thought we were going to replace the chippings, and I give commendation to the civil engineer of Tema Port, and then the push that the river terminal also gave, and that. So these are processes that we go through. So when the external auditors come, they will have to start taking. Did you do your internal audit?
Yeah.
Did you look at the corrective actions? And did you also come out with a management review? At the management review, the chairperson or the one who chairs institutes assignment, gives assignment to various sections and departments for which they have to. Now, mind you, it is the CEO who is giving directives.
Right.
That shows the commitment that management has. And when the external auditors come, they look at some of these things and they probably even look at some of the things that were unearthed during the internal audit and try to scrutinize the system.
Okay, this one says, how much does GPH's ISO systems take into account environment sustainability?
When we go out for this annual inspection, we try to look at even the way they dispose of waste. We talk about oil spillage. Even when they change oil from their equipment, how do they handle the filters? How do they dispose of them? Do they give them out to professionals who dispose of them? We also look at a situation where the solid waste, how it's handled. And in most cases, the liquid waste that we're talking about, when we talk about the sewer system and other things, that's where we get challenges, and they also meet us squarely and put us on our toes to make sure our estate and environment also keeps to a standard. We've also been at Gassen and Costco. The other areas are also Dangote, and who emit dust pollution.
Right.
Now, we've tried to make them come up with eco-friendly hoppers.
Right.
Those who do not have the precise eco-friendly hoppers have gotten dust suppression systems with their hoppers, which is reducing the dust coming out of them. Even though we are not perfect yet, we have encouraged, and I can see that even Super Maritime, they started mounting a very good hopper with very good dust suppression system.
Frances, let me come to you and find out what role clients of the port have to play in terms of helping implement these standards.
Okay. First of all, I would like to indicate that to be a port operator of GPHA, there are some series of inspections that you go through.
Right.
We have inculcated, or we have integrated the requirements of these ISO systems into the agreements we sign with them. And so we inspect their machines, we inspect the work environment, and we even inspect their systems.
Right.
And so they readily avail themselves for annual general inspections as well. And so I would like to say that GPHA cannot do it alone. It's a Herculean task, but we have made it so easy so as to manage it to be effective. We plead with all stakeholders in the port community to collaborate with us, to share ideas. We cannot pretend to know it all. We are open for ideas, to share ideas with us. They should individually also try to streamline their system. We are not saying they should necessarily also go for the certification, but they could try implementing the requirements of the various standards. For instance, in Port of Las Palmas, other port operators within the system are given the opportunity to either implement the requirements or get certified and get some incentive from the Port Authority. And so systems are well into the synergy is well created, and so they know that whatever I bring out as my output fits into my sister company as an input.
Right.
So whatever I'm doing, I have to do it very well. So that I don't indirectly affect another company within the port community. So we are pleading with port operators, port users, all our interested parties to come on board and help us as we strive to provide delightful services to them and also remain competitive and innovative.
So as you just heard, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority is urging all port users to support and comply with all initiatives that have been undertaken to inject efficiency into its operations as well as service delivery. Iron Port returns after this break.
Every now and again, Goil makes good things happen. This time, Goil has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Go Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Go Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Go Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Go Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goil has that sorted. Goil, good energy.
Electricity, pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, streetlights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at some international port and maritime news happening around the globe. Ship owners are enjoying a cash-rich period despite coronavirus challenges and are continuing to invest in new vessels. A total of 381 container ships have been ordered in 2021 alone, and never has 3.44 million TEU been ordered in such a short time span, BIMCO, the world's largest international shipping association, said. As a result of very healthy ship owner bottom lines and carriers experiencing a lack of tonnage, a total of 619 container ships are now on order for future delivery. A total of $60 million has been invested in several major upgrade projects at Suez Canal Container Terminal, a key hub terminal in the South and East Mediterranean region. A series of investments were initiated in 2020 to upgrade equipment and capacity at the terminal in cooperation with the government of Egypt and Suez Canal Economic Zone. The work sets the foundation for future growth of the terminal despite global pandemic challenges, according to APM Terminals. Now it's time for the schedule of vessels that have berth within the port, like that one over there, those at Anchorage and those expected in the coming weeks, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rate, which you may need to know to clear your cargo with. All right, now let's listen to a few comments from viewers of the program.
Armstrong says, please inform the general manager of GPHA that I have a very good, powerful and environmental friendly degreaser from Canada for all his pillages, so he should contact me please. Hello Armstrong, good to hear. Perhaps you could approach management of the authority to see if an arrangement is feasible. Harbour Boy says, has the port also certified private stevedoring operators? Because when GPHA is stevedoring a vessel, it is different from private stevedoring. Harbour Boy, our resource person said, while ISO certification is not mandatory to operate in the port, GPHA ensures that operators within the port follow laid down systems and procedures instituted by the Port Authority in keeping with ISO standards. George from Takoradi says, are these ISO standards observed and monitored by GPHA at the Takoradi terminal, since the design operation is under private entity Takotel? Well, George, GPHA says all of its operators within the port are subjected to the company's requirements as a result of being ISO certified. Asantua from Takoradi says, kudos GPHA for blazing the trail for our big institutions. I'm glad to hear all of this.
All right, that's all for today's edition of Eye on Port. Remember, you can watch all that has transpired on our YouTube channel, Eye on Port. Remember to subscribe and give us feedback. Thank you for watching.